In addition to the Catalyst plastics and some 3D printed mechs that I'm bringing online, I have 3 primary battle groups, 3 groups of mech collections, all with different machines, all with a different flavor, not counting clans, Inner Sphere. Clans, just Jade Falcon. I've managed to control that impulse as best I can. We'll see where things go with the new Catalyst plastics. But the common theme through all 3 of my mercenary companies, all 3 of my mech companies, there's 2 types of mechs. Certainly, there are mechs that I enjoy playing. You're going to find a Blackjack in every group. You're going to find a Warhammer, a Marauder in every group. We all have our favorite machines, one way or another. But then there are certain mechs that just really excel. Based on the rules, based on the meta, based on the tonnage, they're solid mechs that you bring regardless of the mission, regardless of the hex map you're fighting on. It's going to work out really, really well. And this mech, the Jenner, the 3028 technical readout review that we're exploring, I have a Jenner in every single collection. I usually field a Jenner in a light lance. It works on so many levels, and that's what we're going to explore today. I consider the Jenner an auto-include. Absolutely. For the simple reason that based on its configuration, and we're going to back this up with the Tactica checklist, it can engage, drive off, and destroy almost any light mech. It has the ability to engage vehicles and really put the hurt on them. And in some cases, it can definitely engage one-on-one and threaten a medium mech. That's a little bit scary for the battle value, for the tonnage. Adding to that, if it works as part of a bodyguarding unit, bodyguarding unit is like I have my Marauder engaging your mech, and a secondary mech, usually a lighter medium, goes along with my Marauder to then try to outflank you and get you rear armor. Jenner is a very, very scary mech to do this. In a right situation, if it can slip back to rear armor, all of a sudden heavies and assaults, they're starting to sweat things out a little bit. So you're definitely going to get the attention on the tabletop, on the battlefield. And one could also say if you're playing Kurita, just you have to 100% field a Jenner. So we start looking at the first qualifier of light mechs, speed. Does it have the speed? And if it doesn't have the speed, it better mount something kind of interesting or cool like the Panther, mounting a PPC, or some other type of weapon system to justify taking it in a different direction. We're looking at 7, 11, 5. Walk 7, run 12, jump 5. Not the fastest light, but up there in the echelon, up there, pretty fast. So this means it's going to try to stay safe by staying at a distance, staying out of firing arcs. It's going to be able to get where it needs to go, move where it needs to go. But now with that speed, when we combine the weapon systems, this is where things get very, very interesting. 4 medium lasers and a short-range missile 4-pack. That's how are we packing that in? I got to look at the tech manual, the loadout on the sheet with the bubbles. How are we even packing this in on the tonnage with that speed? I mean, that's very, very impressive, and that's very, very well utilized in that you have 4 medium lasers, 2 left, 2 right. The medium laser on a light mech is usually the primary weapon because it's got a good balance of tonnage, range, damage, heat management. So from that perspective, having 4 gives you the ability to run a little hot and fire off 2, or really push. If you get that rear armor or you take that shot, you have all 4. You're going to start building some serious heat. Heat management is important, and we start to see heat management on a light mech. That's perhaps the only drawback to the Jenner. But again, using that speed for when you have to push the heat to give you a turn to cool down, having 4 medium lasers, redundancy, range, that's potent. And then we have the short-range missile 4-pack for some extra close-in punch and the ability to possibly crit seek. Now imagine if you have the ability to move behind my Warhammer or move behind even a medium mech. And now you go for that alpha strike. You fire off everything. Next turn, you're going to have to run away, and you're going to be crippled by heat a little bit, but you could punch through center rear, left right torso, center rear armor, and really bypass all of the frontal armor on that mech. That's crazy. As a light mech, if you're engaging another light mech and you're firing at me, you have the ability to cripple me. I mean, the Jenner is just beast. And on top of that, we add some jump capability. Now, I know on variants, some players will look and remove the SRM4, or they'll play around with that to get some additional heat sinks, or maybe take it in a little bit of a different direction. I've played the variants. I still prefer the stock because that additional punch of the missiles for when I need to press all the buttons at once and override everything to fire everything, it has some really, really good punch, especially given the chance that it might split on the table. So the Jenner, is there a better, here's the question, is there a better, and we all have our favorite light mechs, is there a better light mech out there? The Jenner is just absolutely fantastic, and in acquiring one for your collection, absolutely. You will never go wrong playing a Jenner.